I tried it on my own. I tried to make a move.
Who is your new president?
I'm wearing that ass.
And I'm very lucky to have you as a friend. There's only one thing that's keeping us from being a perfect night.
I love you.
I love you too.
I'm back at it with another video. Bring to your attention is we have the life lessons of Steve and Laura, right? I always say that, the life, because you can learn so much from them individually and then them as a couple. The greatest life lesson that we get from Steve and Laura is actually true love. You know, it's true love. It's God's love. We kind of have, you know, so many people trying to dictate what love is today, right? And that's why the world is a mess. But God already spoke on what love is. Steve and Laura already showed you what love is. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to it.
Look, I owe you an apology. The only reason I asked you to be my partner was because I was worried about my grade. When I said my feelings for you might change, I was lying. And I'm sorry.
Show love, show love, show love.
No, biggie. Well, you fessed up. That's what counts. Your honesty only makes me love you more.
Said if I'm being honest with you,
I would have been dealing with her or whatever. And it's like, yeah, because you're walking in pride and you're walking in arrogance and you're walking in delusion, you know. But this is what God intended love to look like. Oh, and what does the Bible say? And I'll put these scriptures up here. But the Bible says that love, okay, that's why we got to get back to God's way. Love covers a multitude of sins. That's what Steve just did right there for Laura. This is how we were supposed to love, guys. Not with an iron fist and not with anger and bitterness and unforgiveness, but with patience, with grace, with forgiveness.
So, will you still be my partner?
Hey, you bet, my pet.
Look at that. Look at
Thanks,
that.
Steve.
Thanks, Steve. It's all good.
So, no one's coming to your birthday party?
Nope, but that's okay. Hey, I'm Steve Urkel. I'm used to being alone.
I keep trying to tell you all these times that Laura shows signs of things. Look how she's looking. Look how Laura's looking at Steve right now. Okay. Parents.
Here, I got you a little something.
Happy
birthday, Steve.
She got him a present. Okay.
A present? From you?
Open it.
Open it.
Oh, thank you, Laura. I love it.
Well, I'm glad you're happy. I wanted to give you a party, but
It would take a miracle to get people to come to a party for me.
She did it. She did it. She did it. This because Laura was gonna make sure Steve felt special this day.
but it's all love.
She was going to make it was probably on the top of her to-do list. On the top of her to-do list. I'm gonna make sure this boy feels special on his birthday because he deserves it. Laura does not find Steve attractive romantically right now, but she always has understood the value that Steve brings. So what does she do? She goes in Steve's eyes, she goes and makes a miracle happen.
Some last minute shopping. Merry Christmas, Laura.
Doing some last minute shopping. But you didn't do no last minute showering, huh?
Emily, how did you ever find her?
I lucked out. It only took me 16 hours.
Beautiful love story of Steve and Laura. What you're first of all still seeing here is friendship being built. This is just friendship, right? This is love. Little pieces of love that help build just friendship. Getting stronger and stronger and stronger, guys.
Steve, you did that for me?
Of course. I love you.
Woo! Woo! Going to save the love of his life. Save her, Steve. Save her, Steve. I guess we need to ask who's saving who. Who's saving who at this point?
Wait a minute. You can swim.
Yes, and now so can you.
Ah.
You're right. I'm not afraid of the water anymore.
Hey, congratulations, Steve. Honey, you were great.
Yeah, you were. And once again, Laura Winslow. Being Laura Winslow, y'all. This is what love looks like, guys. It's not always about candy and your heart pumping. It's about what you are willing to do for that other person. How far are you willing to go for that other person, even if it does not benefit you in the end?
Now I'll graduate because of my beautiful gal.
Get your hands off my man.
Ain't your man, girl.
Myra, you don't understand.
I understand, all right. I leave this room for 1 minute and you go into heat.
Excuse me?
Myra all out of pocket like she always is. But I do have to give her a little bit of grace here because Myra is picking up something that Laura's not picking up. Myra is recognizing the bond, the connection, the friendship that Steve and Laura have. Something that even though she can go and do all these special things with Steve, she still does not have that connection. She still does not have that bond. And for the okie doke. But a lot of times true love comes from nowhere. And that's what Steve and Laura are starting to experience, even though it's not romantic. You guys think true love, it only starts and stops with romanticness and the romantic antics and all that. It doesn't. It starts off in these little bitty phases of love. And true love is so beautiful because really it's a representation of God's love and what God's design was for love. Oh,
You listen to me, Miss Laura. I love Steve Urkel. He's the hot fudge on my sundae.
oh gosh, her food and metaphors, man. Her food metaphors are yucky. Yuck.
And let me tell you something, honey.
Honey.
Nobody steals my dessert.
You don't have to steal what ain't yours, baby. Huh, Laura? I ain't got to steal nothing because it ain't yours.
Strap on your howitzer, Missy. From now on, it's war.
Myra should be an example to us that you can't make whoever you want to make their true love. Because if you make them your true love, are they really your true love? That's what the lesson we can take away from Myra.
Stay away or you're gonna get burned.
Okay, that's it. I've had just about enough of you.
Let her know what's up, Laura.
You are a huge pain in the butt.
Huge pain, huge butt. Ooh.
Hi, Steve. Myra.
Just want to ask the question. If Laura doesn't have feelings for Steve, why is she rumbling with Myra at all these times? I'm just saying. Because she does.
Thanks to you, I've got cafeteria duty for the next 2 weeks.
Thanks to you, I've been grounded for the next 2 weeks, you cheeky man stealer.
You hear the call, Strump?
I won't back away from it.
And Laura put up a foot. Ooh, Myra, you gonna get hurt.
Stop it, I say.
Myra, you gonna get hurt.
This has gone far enough.
We've drifted apart these past few months. I mean, you've changed. What I'm gonna say is that I desperately miss the old Steve Urkel.
This is where the problem comes in. Again, when I talk about true love, you guys say that Myra and Steve were true love. Well, how is it that Myra and Steve were true love? Myra and Steve were true love, but then when he goes and improves and gets better, she does not like this version of him. Explain to me how that's true love. Let me explain to you what type of love this is. This is fake love.
Tell them to stop faking.
And it's a love determined by how I want to love you, right? Not about how love is and how a person needs to be loved. Myra loves a version of Steve Urkel. Haven't we all been stuck there? She loves a version of him. And she loves her version of him, not the version that he actually is. Because if she loved the version that he actually is, she would love everything that's going on with Steve right now because he's just becoming a better man.
But Myra, I'm not the man I used to be.
Steven? I'm breaking up with you.
Jimmy?
Bye, dear Steven. I'll always treasure our times together, the midnight polka.
Oh, we live fast and played hard, baby.
What is the life lesson here? Point this out to people. Myra and Steve were so ideal, their goal. And Myra's telling Steve to his face right now, I don't want you because you've improved. I don't want you because you're not the version that I want you to be. I don't want you, you know what I'm saying? Because you're not my little, I can't pull your strings and make you do what I want you to do. It's okay for Laura to not even get into a relationship with him at the time because of that. But it's okay for Myra to break up with him because of that.
It make sense.
Why is this okay for Myra to break up with Steve when he's at his best, when he's feeling his best, when he's doing his best? Do you know what that does to your psyche? Do you know what that does to your mind when you think like you're actually becoming your best self? And this person who has claimed to love you greater than Laura Winslow, Myra claims to love Steve greater and that she's better for him. But when he's at his best self, this ain't what she wants. And what makes this moment even more sad is think about it. Myra is rejecting Steve for the same reason the women in this room are. Right? You have a bunch of women in this room that are rejecting him. New version and all. But you guys call this true love. The only one not rejecting Steve in this season is Laura. Are y'all peeping game? Are y'all seeing what I see? Steve should have thought to put her down at some point. Oh my gosh. She's Laura's having so much fun.
I love you.
I love you too. See, it's true, you are changing. But if you ask me, I think it's for the better.
Let me get closer. Laura tells him, Steve, you are changing. It's me. You're changing for the better. right? This is what I keep talking about when you connect with somebody that is connected to your purpose. What I also want to point out and think is absolutely amazing is how Laura notices Steve's growth, but she doesn't only notice Steve's growth, she appreciates Steve's growth. And what's even more beautiful, guys, is that Steve and Laura are both growing individually and they're growing together. And that's what you want in any relationship. You know, people say, Myra loves Steve first. It's like, what does that mean? That don't mean nothing. Just because they love you first don't mean they're going to love you forever. Right? Like, just because they love you first don't mean they're going to love you right.
Oh, really?
Yes, really.
Drunk on you, baby.
Drunk on you, baby.
And I always have.
It ain't never stopped. Huh?
What am I gonna do with you?
Love me like I love you.
Love me like I love you. Y'all don't miss this. He's saying, love me like I love you. And how is Steve supposed to resist this, right? How is he supposed to resist this when Laura is actually telling him what he not only wanted to hear, but needed to hear? But look at the bigger thing that I want us to focus on is when Steve said, just love me, Laura. People overlook this. Just love me, Laura. Love me like I love you. And we see that Laura was down. But that is such a huge statement. Why? Because most people are, what is he saying? In a nutshell, love me equally. All this stuff going on, all this confusion within relationships, because you're getting with people or you're staying with people that are not loving you in the same way that you love them. And that's what Steve is asking Laura. And that's what Laura is obliging right here. If we could really all love each other equally and to the same measurement that we give out, we would be in a much better place.
Me, how could you betray me like this? Just stop being this silly new Steve and come crawling back to me and beg my forgiveness. Please?
I'm sorry, Myra.
Come and crawl back to me and beg my forgiveness. And I keep saying this, he didn't like her that much to begin with, to beg her forgiveness. And you got this one right here? You got all this sitting right next to you. Myra is outright telling Steve, go stop being this version of yourself that you like and be the version that I like.
Laura! For the life of me, I can't understand what you see in this strumpet.
Her beauty, her maturity, she's smart, she's patient.
Strumpet?
She's witty,
I got you, strumpet.
she got comebacks.
You're stumping it out. So come on, Miss Red.
Girls, don't fight over me. Even though it's my dream come true.
It should be. It should be. It's not getting no better than that right there. Why is this okay for Myra to do, but not Laura?
Make it make sense.
We got a peep game on this. Myra actually asked a very important question, right? Or tried to make a statement. What is it that you see in Laura? And the problem is that what Myra doesn't see that Steve sees in Laura is what Steve needed from Myra. Support, right? Encouragement, recognizing the new version of him and appreciating that. How is it that Myra can date Steve this long, go polka dancing, and doesn't understand what he needs in this moment? Laura has more of an understanding, not just of love, but more of an understanding of who Steve is. Because they've been building. Myra only has one version, guys. Myra only has one version of Steve Urkel. And that's all he was ever going to be able to be.
Stephen, I've changed my mind and I want you back.
It's over.
Destiny has spoken.
I love you and I want to marry you.
You do?
Yes.
I've told everybody at work about my future son-in-law.
This is what I'm saying, okay? My future son-in-law. You got to look at everything that Steve is gaining besides a wife, besides a best friend. It is a full family, something that he never really had. That is the important thing when you talk about Myra and Steve and Laura and Steve. You got to look at the full picture. Everything that Laura brings.
Welcome home, son.
Thanks, Dad.
Hi, Steve.
Oh, gosh. You're more beautiful every time I see you. Do I get a welcome home kiss?
Welcome home.
On one condition,
Well, what's that?
that you'll never go into outer space again.
Only when we kiss, Marley.
The family that he gained. And the beautiful thing that we see from this with Steve and Laura, that you see throughout, really from, beginning to end, is you see God's love. And that's why their love was able to grow, because they were exemplifying and experiencing and expressing God's love, right? From forgiving to talking out things to, think about it with Steve and Laura. That's what I love. With all the different things that Steve did to Laura and Laura did to Steve, they never, ever threw it back in each other's face. Some of us, raise your hand if you're sure, if you've done that, right? We've all been guilty of that. You think you're over it and you're past it, and they do something and you throw it back in their face as something that they already did. And that's something you do not see Steve and Laura ever do to each other. When they go and apologize and forgive, it's done, it's over. And
because I've forgiven so much because I found Jesus Christ, because you can't forgive. It's hard for you to forgive without Jesus Christ. It's virtually impossible.
that is an example of God's love. God never intended for any of us to walk in perfection, only him. But God already showed us what love was, right? The Bible says in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, going to verse 4, it says that love is patient. Love is kind. It is not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. That's the one that we really got to look at. It keeps no record of wrongs. If people could really walk that out, the world would be in such a more peaceful place, right? Keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. It says that love never fails. And the one thing that you see about Steve and Laura, and I say this all the time, is that love always shows itself. Love always proves itself. That's why God gave us that blueprint. Because if you're living by that, then you're proving your love. You're showing your love. Love always proves itself. And you saw that with Steve and Laura. But I want you to check this out. This artist, because this is just so powerful. And just check it out. I would sing, guys, but I can't sing. It says, true love, don't add no sorrow, right or wrong. It keeps no record of right or wrong. Through thick and thin, still holding on, forever strong. And that's just what I wanted to look at again. But it's just so amazing. But it's like, it's talking about 1 Corinthians chapter 13. But that literally is describing Steve and Laura. And what I would say is, where is Steve and Myra in that storyline? Steve and Laura is such a beautiful love. And I think we're in such a place today where we don't want to forgive. We want to hold, grudges. And, you're looking for this perfect mate. And when you recognize, whoa, they're not perfect, you're ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know what I'm saying? And that's never what God intended. Why do you think God gave us a blueprint? Because he knew that love was not going to be easy, and it wasn't going to be, it's not something that's easy. Really, love is a choice, right? Love is a choice. Even in this moment right here with Steve and Laura, when Steve says, love me, Laura, love me like I love you. Like I said, it's so powerful because he's saying, meet me where I'm at, baby girl. That's what he's saying, right? Meet me where I am. Meet me where I'm at. Give me what I'm giving you. And Laura's, she's down, right? And again, I say that because this, again, is a lot of what we're not doing. We get into these relationships because we don't want to be lonely, right? We get into these relationships because they're feeding us in this area, but they don't love me like I love them, And that's why I said this was such a powerful moment in TV history when it comes to Steve and Laura. People don't like to look at is, God never intended us to love each other without him. That's a lot of what we're trying to do too. We're trying to gain marriage and relationships and all these things outside of God. And he's the one that made it all. He's the one that made the ability to love. He's the one that created marriage. He's the one that created, what is the, marital things. The marriage bed will say, God created the marriage bed. You feel what I'm saying? The love making bed. God created all that. And we try to do all of that outside of him and see people through God's eyes and treat them the way God would have them to be treated.
In conflict, which one of us is more willing to offer an olive branch first? Olive branch is reconciliation for all those who don't know. They're using biblical language. But yeah, I think I am. I think I'm the one who reconciles first in our relationship.
To reconcile, usually it's Preston, because our personality types are different, so he's a lot more communication oriented. Let's talk about this, get this stuff together. Me, I'm more like, let me process and figure this out in my brain before I say anything.
And that's what God intended love to look like and marriage and relationships to look like, and how Steve and Laura are here in this place right now, smooching right now, like in this moment right now, is because the one thing that we want to overlook and pass up in is friendship. Steve and Laura built a friendship, right? What you saw, that was Preston and Jackie Hill Perry. What happens when you go through the conflict, you work through the things, you work through the hard things, you make it through the hard things, you forgive, you're building a friendship. And that's what a lot of people are not doing, is you're not taking the time out to build a friendship with somebody, but you'll marry them. That's the thing that's crazy. You'll commit to them for life, but won't build a friendship with them. And that is the beauty of Steve and Laura that Steve and Myra never had, and Laura really never had with any other guy, is friendship that blossomed into this beautiful love story. Friendships is the most powerful thing because you can have friendship in every area. You can have friendships on your job. You can have friendships with your mom and son, daughter and father. You can build a friendship. And this is the thing why it makes Steve and Laura's story storyline so beautiful is because friendship, guys, I hate to bust your bubble, especially for my Christians. Friendship is the only thing that you're taking to heaven with you. You don't take marriage to heaven with you. You don't take the marriage bed to heaven with you. You don't take no love. None of that goes to heaven. Your marriage does not go to people, say these things. Oh, they're in heaven together. Yeah. If you built a friendship, friendship is the only thing that is eternal besides your soul. I just want people to think about that for a second. Nothing else goes to heaven with you besides your soul and your friendships. Who you're married to, you're not going to be married to them in heaven. You're going to have friendship and fellowship with them. That's why friendship is so important. Where Laura can no longer deny how she feels about this man, right? She's tried and this and that guy, this guy, that guy, but she couldn't deny, what her heart has been building on. You know what I'm saying? What her heart has been building on is friendship. And that's what I want to tell people. Don't think you catching an L because maybe this person you wanted to be in a relationship with, and not only all that relationship that came out of it was friendship. It's the greatest relationship, guys. It's the greatest relationship that you can ever have with somebody is to have true friendship. You guys know the scripture. Do you guys know Matthew 22:30? It says, for in the resurrection, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are like angels in heaven, right? So let me give the meaning of that. It says it indicates that in the afterlife in heaven, the concept of marriage as we know it on earth does not exist. Okay. But it does not say friendship doesn't. Friendship absolutely exists in heaven. So they've been building this friendship that has turned and blossomed into romance. But guys, it started with friendship. That's why Myra could never get Steve the way that she wanted him, because she was unwilling to build friendship. Love ourselves. Love yourself. Take the time out to take care of yourself. Love on yourself first. You know what I'm saying?
Grow in your singleness. Become a good man. Become a good woman. Develop your relationship with Jesus Christ. Travel, have some fun, and be a gift to the person when you meet them. And what is the gift? I'm whole. That's the gift. I'm whole. I'm not broken. I'm not looking for somebody to come and cover up this pain. I'm whole. And I gift you wholeness.
And then go and give that love out. But if you don't love on yourself, what are you giving people? If you're not at your best self, what are you giving people? That is the beautiful part again about Steve and Laura. Like, Laura learned how to love, and when she learned how to love, her love went in a Steve Urkel direction, right? And the same thing you see here with Steve. This is why what Myra did and trying to bring him down was so detrimental and so troublesome and so toxic, because he's actually going and loving on himself now, feeling good about himself now, and Myra's rejecting that relationship. The best thing that Laura ever did and ever gave Steve was friendship. And then when she became her best self, gave the rest of herself away. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to be your own best friend, and don't be afraid to build friendships before you build a relationship. Everything in it, but just know that you are enough. If you're standing alone, you're standing by yourself, you've been rejected, you can't find love, you are enough. God already made you enough from when he crafted you. He already had a purpose and a plan for you. He already gave you gifts and beauty and talent and skill and wisdom, right? And value. God already gave you that. So don't be afraid to pursue yourself. Don't be afraid to take care of yourself. Don't be afraid to love on yourself, because when you go and you do that, you make yourself whole. And when you are whole, that's when you give yourself to somebody else. And this is why I say that these are the life lessons of Steve and Laura, because this thing the Lord ever did for Steve that Myra could never do was give Steve the best version of herself. The best thing that Laura could have ever done that she gets hate for some reason is she waited till she was ready. She waited till she was ready. She waited till she understood who she was, what love was, what Steve needed. You know what I'm saying? What Steve was looking for. And she waited until she was her best self and completely gave herself away to Steve. And that is the lesson in it. Is doing it, loving people God's way, loving yourself and valuing yourself and knowing that you are okay by yourself, and waiting until you are actually ready. We go into these relationships trying to get and never to give. Love God, love people. May God bless you. May God keep you.